Thus begins the reading of The Way of Love, a booklet on the real meaning of love, the essence of true spirituality, by His Divine Grace, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. The main portion of this booklet is a transcription of Srila Narayana Maharaj's discourse at the renowned custard factory in Birmingham, England. There, his audience included the city's Lord Mayor and representatives of the world's leading religion. Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Maharaj is a resident of Mathura, Vrindavan, India. For the last 60 years, he has been teaching Bhakti Yoga, the natural activity of the immortal soul. Although now in his 80s, he has been traveling around the world twice yearly since 1996. He teaches all those who are fortunate to attend his programs and festivals how to practice the yoga of love. A compassionate seeker of the spiritual welfare of all, he teaches his audience, quote, to make your life successful, happy, and peaceful, try to give all of your love and affection to God, Krishna. Show that love to all living beings, and try to engage your entire being in helping them. One who comes to others with love has nothing to take but everything to give. We want to be completely selfless in our dealings. We have the example of the tree that offers its bark, roots, fruits, leaves, wood, and shade to others with no expectation of remuneration. Unquote. The process to realize that selfless love is given by Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj in this booklet. About the author, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. Out of his intense compassion, Srila Narayana Goswami Maharaj appeared in this world in 1921 in Bihar, India, in a village named Tawaripur. A self-realized guru in the disciplic succession of saintly masters going back to Lord Krishna himself, Srila Maharaj is the foremost disciple of his initiating spiritual master, Srila Bhaktivedanta Keshava Goswami Maharaj, as well as his instructing spiritual master, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, the world-renowned preacher of Krishna consciousness. An erudite scholar of the classic books of transcendental wisdom called the Vedas, Srila Narayana Maharaj has translated and published over 30 volumes in Hindi with his own commentaries. His works have been translated into English and other languages and are providing hundreds of thousands of people with new life and spiritual inspiration. Srila Narayana Maharaj is recognized throughout the world by conscientious secular and religious leaders for his contribution to the advancement of love of God and universal brotherhood. On the 29th of December 2010, he concluded his pastimes in this world, leaving us bereft of his physical appearance. His teachings, however, are eternal and will continue to shine like a radiant beacon to guide us all on the path of pure devotion. Dedication. I beg the mercy of my Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Keshava Goswami Maharaj. I offer thousands of humble obeisances unto his lotus feet, and the same humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Shiksha Guru, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. In the present day, it was my Shiksha Guru who unlocked the treasure of Vedic wisdom for the entire world. The key to the treasure is in his hands and in my Gurudev's hands. They have given me their key, and they have ordered me to share that treasure with you all. Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. Preface. The purpose of this booklet is to present the words of those who have realized the sacred truths revealed in ancient Indian scriptures called the Vedas. The word Veda literally means the final conclusion on all topics related to the transcendental world and all topics related to this world, both ordinary and extraordinary. The Vedas were compiled thousands of years ago by self-realized saints whose hearts were melting with affection for the suffering souls in this world. Such saints are blessed with pure understanding of the supreme truth and the ultimate purpose of life. The Way of Love is a transcription of a discourse given by such a self-realized personality, the revered Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, whose life is unconditionally dedicated to the ultimate happiness of others. In this preface, we would like to share with you the words of another great saint, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, famous throughout the world as Srila Prabhupada, who is intimately related with Srila Narayana Goswami Maharaj as an instructing guru and dear friend. Srila Narayana Goswami Maharaj regards Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj as a main inspiration for his regularly traveling the surface of the globe in teaching the way of love. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj writes, quote, "The basic principle of the living condition is that we have a general propensity to love someone. No one can live without loving someone else. This propensity is present in every living being. Even an animal like a tiger has the loving propensity, at least in a dormant stage, and it is certainly present in the human beings. The missing point, however, is where to repose our love so that everyone can be happy. At the present moment, the human society teaches one to love his country or family or his personal self, but there is no information about where to repose the loving propensity so that everyone can become happy. In the primary stage, a child loves his parents, then his brothers and sisters. As he daily grows up, he begins to love his family, society, community, country, nation, or even the whole human society. But the loving propensity is not satisfied even by loving all human society. That loving propensity remains imperfectly fulfilled until we know who is the Supreme Beloved. Our loving propensity expands just as a vibration of light or air expands, but we do not know where it ends." Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj continues to explain the problem we face, not knowing how to love. He explains the science of loving every living being perfectly by the process of loving the Supreme Being, known in the Vedas as Krishna. Quote, "We have failed to create peace and harmony in human society, even by such great attempts as the United Nations, because we do not know the right method. The method is very simple. If we learn how to love Krishna, then it is very easy to immediately and simultaneously love every living being. It is like pouring water on the root of a tree or supplying food to one's stomach. The method of pouring water on the root of the tree or supplying foodstuffs to the stomach is universally scientific and practical, as every one of us has experienced. Everyone knows well that when we eat something, or in other words, when we put foodstuffs in our stomach, the energy created by such action is immediately distributed throughout the whole body. Similarly, when we pour water on the root, the energy thus created is immediately distributed throughout the entirety of even the largest tree. It is not possible to water the tree part by part, nor is it possible to feed the different parts of the body separately. The root cause of our dissatisfaction is that our dormant loving propensity has not been fulfilled despite our great advancement in the materialistic way of life. We are watering all parts of the tree, but missing the tree's root. We are trying to keep our body fit by all means, but we are neglecting to supply foodstuffs to the stomach. Missing the Supreme Self means missing oneself also. Self-realization and realization of the Supreme Soul, known as Lord Sri Krishna, the all-attractive reservoir of love, go together simultaneously. For example, seeing oneself in the morning means seeing the sunrise also. Without seeing the sunrise, no one can see himself. Relations of the soul, established in relation with the Supreme Soul, are factual relations. The bodily relation is the cause of material bondage, but the relation of the soul is the cause of freedom. This relation of the soul to the soul can be established by the via medium of the relation with the Supersoul. Seeing in the darkness is not seeing, but seeing by the light of the sun means to see the sun and everything else that was unseen in the darkness." Unquote. As is true with all Vedic literature, this booklet is meant to teach us how to turn the one switch that will immediately brighten everything, everywhere. All the histories told herein actually took place. Srila Narayana Goswami Maharaj has taken them from the parts of the Vedas known as the Puranas and Upanishads. Misplaced love. There was once a very qualified and beautiful young king named Bhartrihari, who was an expert in all arts. King Bhartrihari married at the age of 25 years, and he adored his beautiful newly wedded wife. Eager to please her, he presented her with a jeweled necklace, the value of which would be over $1 million by today's standards. He placed the necklace around her neck with his own hands, embraced her, and said, "Most dearly beloved, this necklace is very precious. Please, always keep it with you." King Bhartrihari was greatly attracted to his wife, but she had no such attraction to him. Rather, she was attracted to her husband's commander-in-chief, who was also extremely handsome. Therefore, a few days after receiving the excellent necklace, she gave it to the commander-in-chief, desiring to please him. Although the queen was very attached to the commander-in-chief, he did not feel the same way about her. He was attracted to a prostitute. A few days after receiving the necklace, he presented it to that prostitute, desiring to please her. The prostitute did not feel the same way about the commander-in-chief, however, for she was attracted to the king. One day she presented that very necklace to the king, desiring to please him. Seeing the necklace, the king became distressed and asked her from where she had gotten it. Frightened, she did not reply. The incensed king said, "If you do not tell me the truth, I will cut off your head." The prostitute then revealed the truth of the matter to the king, who left her and took the necklace to the commander-in-chief. King Bhartrihari asked his commander-in-chief, "Where did you get this? If you tell me the truth, I will not harm you, but if you try to conceal it from me, I will have your head." The commander-in-chief revealed the truth to him, and at that moment the king realized that there is no true love in this world. He at once made up his mind to give up all of his worldly attachments. He left his palace, his kingdom, and his opulent attire, and he became a very famous renunciate and spiritualist. King Bhartrihari's grief and anger arose from his affection that had turned sour. This was caused by his not knowing that in order to love, one must first embrace the supreme love. The misery he tasted due to misunderstanding that supreme love, God, is common in this world. Some of us think that he does not exist. Some think he is formless and without qualities, and some think there are different divinities or gods for those of different faiths. The following reveals how anyone can become free from all sufferings caused by animosity, envy, and quarreling by knowing that single one divine reality. There is only one family. All of us are in the family of one God. It is not that there is one God in England, another in America, and still another in India. The Christians, Muslims, and Hindus are not worshipping different gods. The names Allah, Brahma, Jehovah, Krishna, and Yahweh refer to the same God, called by different names according to differences in language and culture. If we love the same God, why do we quarrel? We quarrel because we do not know what real love is. If we have true love and affection for the one Supreme Lord, we will naturally love each other. There is a saying, God is love, and love is God. And in Indian Vedic culture, there is a saying, all should be happy. Jesus also taught this philosophy. He went to India when he was about 16 years old, and he visited many places of pilgrimage, like Vrindavan, Ayodhya, South India, and Jagannath Puri. In Puri, he saw the deities of Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra, and he heard Lord Jagannath, meaning Lord of the Universe, addressed as Krishna. In this part of India, the name Krishna is pronounced Krushna. Because of different languages, Greek and Hebrew, this name became Krusta, then Krista, and now it is pronounced Christ. Krishna, Krushna, Krishna, and now Christ. They are the same. In this universe, there is only one God, and he is not Russian, English, German, or Spanish. He knows all languages without difficulty, but there is actually no need of knowing them. There is only one real language in the entire world, and that language is called love. Eyes can speak that language. Ears and hands can speak and understand it, and a glowing face can tell everything. God is one, and he is the embodiment of love. Krishna is the original name of God, given in the ancient Vedas, and it means the all-attractive reservoir of pleasure. All other names like Supersoul, Buddha, Allah, and God are included within him. Unity in diversity. Although we are all part and parcel of the same Supreme Lord, we have divided up this earth, declaring, "This is my country, this is your country." Even though we are all individuals, we all depend upon the same sun and we all breathe the same air. This is the principle of unity and diversity. Unity refers to the fact that we are all parts and parcels of the same Supreme Lord Krishna, the Father of all, and diversity refers to our eternal individual natures. Because this is the eternal reality, we will only find peace and happiness in this reality. Unity and diversity will have no meaning if people have no faith in the Supreme God or love for Him and all living entities. Love all creatures. It is often thought that humans are the only members of God's family, but this is not true. He creates all creatures. They are all His children. So why should we not love them all? The saying, "all should be happy," does not only apply to humans. The Supreme Lord has created cows, and those cows freely and indiscriminately give milk to all. In the Vedas, the cow is referred to as Gomata, mother cow, because she nourishes us with her own milk. It is not stated anywhere in the Bible that we may kill the cow or any animal. In the original Aramaic language of the Bible, the word brosimus has been used more than 20 times. Brosimus means food, and it has been translated as meat. In Old English, meat did not mean flesh, it meant food. But the English language has changed, and today most people wrongly believe that the Holy Bible supports the eating of animal flesh. The Old Testament clearly states, "Thou shalt not kill." This means we should neither kill humans nor animals. The Quran also does not sanction the slaughtering and eating of cows. The Supreme Lord has not created animals for us to eat. For this purpose, He has created fruits, roots, milk, butter, grains, and vegetables. He will not be happy if we harm any of His children, what to speak of killing our own mother. Trees, creepers, hogs, and insects are also children of the one Supreme Lord. In Indian Vedic culture, it is said that one should not walk on a field after it has been plowed and the seeds have been sown there, for those seeds may die. We should not give pain or suffering to any living entity. We are all children of the Supreme Lord, who is the personification of supreme happiness and the reservoir of supreme happiness for all others. We are part and parcel of that happiness. The only difference between the Supreme Lord and ourselves is that He is unlimited and we are minute. We are qualitatively one with Him, but unfortunately, we have forgotten who we are. We should try to realize this truth. We must not quarrel with those of other religious faiths. The one true religion of all souls is love, and that religion is one without a second. We should love God and also each other, and in this way, people can live happily in this world. Love has a form. The Vedas explain that the Supreme has a transcendental form and personal qualities, and He performs extraordinary pastimes. He is all attractive and the possessor of all potency. He is indivisible and one without a second. Although He is one, and although He is everything, He is also a person. God, G, generator, the generator of this world. O, operator, the operator of this world. And D, destroyer, the destroyer of this world. He nourishes and supports the entire universe. Vedic sages like Srila Vyasadeva, Narada Muni, and Lord Brahma have told us that He has a very beautiful form and many millions of transcendental qualities. If a father has a form, his son will also have a form. If the father has no form or qualities, the son will neither have form nor qualities, nor can he even exist. It may appear that God is sometimes described as formless in certain scriptures, but when such scriptures use the word formless, they mean that He has no material form, no material qualities, and no material features. His shape and features are spiritual. He is all-powerful, and therefore He has the power to have a form. If he were without form, quality, power, and mercy, he would be nothing. He would be unable to help us or hear our prayers, what to speak of giving us eternal bliss. We don't believe in a God devoid of mercy, power, and qualities. If he were without transcendental qualities such as mercy, what value and purpose would there be in worshiping him? Both the Bible and the Quran state that he has a form. The Bible states, God created man in his own image. If he has no image or form, why does the Bible say this? His image is transcendental. It is not mortal. He has a spiritual body from which he created man. It is also said that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. If the Son has a form, then his Father must also have a form. In fact, he has the most beautiful form. He has all good qualities, and he is complete with all potencies. The Quran states, In Allah kalaka main suratihi. Allah, or Kudha, has form, and from that form he has fashioned man. The word suratihi means form, and the name Allah means the greatest. All universes and all creation are contained within him, and there is nothing equal to Allah in greatness. The Vedic conception of God confirms this understanding and also says that the Supreme Being, Lord Krishna, is both the greatest of the great and the smallest of the small. The word formless, without qualities, and without features, used in scriptures to describe God, have come from the root words form, qualities, and features. Without the concept of something having form, there can be no concept of something being devoid of form. It must therefore be concluded that the supreme original entity has form, qualities, and features, and one of those qualities must be mercy. He is so merciful that he created this entire world to fulfill our foolish desires to enjoy separately from him. Without that love. Once a man in a forest heard the sound of a tiger. As he ran in fear, his eyes darted here and there, looking for shelter. Finally, he came across a blind well, a well that was no longer in use. Grass and plants had grown over that well, and a tree grew beside it. Taking help from 2 branches of the tree, the man lowered himself into the well, comforted by the thought that he was beyond the tiger's reach. As he descended the well, however, he saw beneath him many snakes. The snakes raised their hoods and hissed, ready to bite him. As he hung from the 2 branches, he realized that his predicament had only increased. At the bottom of the well, there was many poisonous snakes awaiting to bite him, and at the top a ferocious tiger waiting to eat him. He was suffering great anxiety. Then 2 rats, one black and one white, began gnawing the branches onto which he held. It was only a question of time before the branches would be eaten through and he would fall into the pit of snakes. To escape this predicament, he had to either climb out and be eaten by the tiger or descend into the well and be bitten by snakes. Whatever he chose to do, his fate would be gruesome. In this very dangerous situation, the man suddenly noticed a honeycomb on the branch of the tree. Because the tree was shaking, some honey was dripping, and it just happened to be dripping very close to his face. Taking this opportunity to enjoy, he stuck out his tongue and took that honey into his mouth. He began to relish in the flavor, thinking, "Oh, how sweet, how sweet." Feeling some happiness, he completely forgot the danger he was in. All the components of this analogy represent our own condition. The man in this story exemplifies all souls who are attached to this world. We are all in a dangerous situation, as we may die at any moment, and there is no way for us to be saved by our own material endeavors. The snakes represent our many problems, coming at us one after another like waves in the ocean. We think, "Oh, this is the last of my problems. I will be happy as soon as this problem is solved." But sometimes the next wave is larger still, and sometimes many waves or problems come at once, 5 or 6 at a time. At the top of the well stands the tiger, who represents death. which is waiting for every one of us in this world. The two branches represent the reactions of our fruitive activities, good and bad, pious and impious. We live our lives experiencing the reactions of our pious and impious activities. Combined together, these reactions comprise the duration of our life, and that duration is being taken away moment by moment. The black rat represents nighttime, and the white rat represents daytime. We are very happy when another day comes and goes, but actually, the coming and going of days only means that the duration of our life is being gnawed away. Amidst so many problems and dangers, one drop of honey falls on our tongues, and this drop is likened to the momentary happiness we may feel with friends and relatives of this world. The search for happiness. All living creatures are making a great endeavor, struggling to attain real everlasting happiness. However, as the Vedas explain, worldly things cannot give us happiness. Regardless of the position a person may hold, he or she remains unfulfilled. Even if one is wealthy, young, beautiful, educated, famous, and influential, he still looks for something more to make him happy. Even the presidents and prime ministers of great nations remain unsatisfied. Throughout history, it has been revealed that rich and powerful persons like Napoleon and the kings and queens of England, France, and Germany were deeply unhappy, despite their seemingly advantageous position. In modern times, we can see this in the lives of Princess Diana and Bill Clinton, to name a few. The little happiness we receive in this world is momentary and mixed with suffering. It is not continuous and eternal, nor is it complete and pure. For the lowest material planet to the highest, there are so many types of miseries and no real eternal happiness. No soul identified with a material body can be happy. This human life is meant for finding a way out of the prison of this body, which is destined to grow old and die. We want to be happy by satisfying our material bodies, but old age very quickly overtakes us and we lament. The material happiness we receive is not really happiness, it is condensed misery. We do not understand that the soul, which is different from the body and mind, is spiritual, eternal, and full of knowledge and bliss. We can therefore only be truly satisfied by that which is also spiritual, eternal, and full of knowledge and bliss, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and our loving relationship with Him. Nowadays, we are making many inventions and discoveries in areas such as medicine, transportation, and communication. We can easily travel from one side of the world to the other in just a few hours. By sitting in our living room, we can see what is happening on the other side of the world. We can watch cricket being played in Australia or India, and we can see the President of America speaking in the White House in Washington. And if a person's eyes are defective, surgeons can repair them with parts of eyes taken from a dead body. However, despite these and other advances, people are suffering more than ever before. We are still not able to prevent old age and death, and we cannot prevent war and terrorism or the spread of disease. New disease continues to appear. The advance in science and technology has not brought us happiness. Rather, we have become more fearful, materialistic, and greedy. Why is modern science failing us? The reason is that it is not, in fact, very developed. Scientists cannot see the soul, which has a transcendental form, and they cannot even see the mind, which is material. We think that we are very advanced due to developments in technology, but all we have done is increase the needs of the material body and neglect the needs of the soul. We do not care to love the Supreme Lord, and thus we do not have any real love and affection for each other. We trust our dogs and cats more than we trust our family and friends. Husbands and wives do not remain together, and divorce is common. Parents reject their children, and children reject their parents. Almost everyone is interested only in gratifying his own body and mind. Persons who want to control the endless chain of birth, disease, old age, and death can learn to do so from the ancient Vedic culture. Studying modern scientific knowledge will not help. When scientific knowledge develops to a more sophisticated level, people may finally be able to control old age and death. But to attain this level, modern society must learn from our Vedic culture. A perfect question. The Vedas tell an ancient history. There was once a self-realized soul named Yajnavalkya, and he served in the council of the great and celebrated king Janaka. He was very learned in the Vedas, and he was fully aware of the presence of the soul and the supersoul within the body. Yajnavalkya had 2 wives, Maitreyi and Katyayani. Once, in his old age, he called his 2 wives and said to them, "We have lived as householders for many years. I have amassed vast amounts of gold and many cows, and I have also given each of you several children. I now want to divide all my property between you so that you will be happy for the rest of your lives. After I have done this, please permit me to go to the forest to meditate deeply on the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Hearing this, Katyayani became happy and said, "Your goal, which is very wonderful, is to meditate on the Supreme Lord. You are my husband, and I shall assist you in doing this." Maitreyi gave a different response. She said, "I have a question, and after you have answered it, you can go with a glad heart. You are going to the forest because you are not satisfied with all of the gold and property you have accumulated during your life, or with your wives, children, and friends. So do you think these things will then make us happy?" Yajnavalkya replied, "You are truly my devout wife. By asking this question, you have greatly pleased me. The answer to this question is discussed in all the Vedas. Gold and property cannot give real happiness. Position in society, learning, reputation, friendship, and family can never make one truly happy. Money and whatever it may buy in this world cannot give us what we hanker for. We are all parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, and He is the reservoir of all happiness. Therefore, we can find happiness only in Him. To serve Him is actual happiness, whereas the happiness we taste in this world is minute and also perishable. Lord Krishna is an ocean of transcendental tasteful relationships and the embodiment of supreme happiness. He alone can satisfy us, so I wish to go now to the forest to attain Him." The path to happiness. If we want to truly be happy, we must engage in the practice of serving God. In the Vedas, this process is called Bhakti Yoga, or connecting with the Supreme Lord by serving Him. By considering His happiness first, a person automatically becomes happy and peaceful. He does not harm other creatures, be they animals or humans, and as a result, he can live peacefully with all. Devotion to God has 3 stages of development: the stage of practice, the stage of awakening spiritual ecstasy, and the stage of fully blossomed ecstasy called pure love. To achieve pure love, we begin at the stage of practice. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy called Kali Yuga, the most powerful spiritual practice and the best method to find happiness is to chant the names of the Supreme Lord. His name is non-different from Him, and it contains all of His potencies as well as His sweet form and pastimes. This will be realized fully at the stage of pure love. Chanting the holy name of God cleanses the hearts of all unhealthy desires and tendencies, leaving one feeling tranquil and connected to Him. The Vedic text named Kali Shantarana Upanishad states, "In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy names of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way." The names of the Lord can be chanted as follows: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mantra of divine love. Water, air, and practically everything is polluted these days, as the oceans are polluted by poisons, thus poisoning both the fish and the fish eaters. Material sound vibration also pollutes and poisons the atmosphere. People spray poisons to kill insects, thus poisoning the grains and those who eat them. Similarly, material sound vibration in the form of abuses, criticisms of others, quarreling, and so forth, and in fact, any material vibration pollutes the minds, senses, and hearts of everyone throughout the world. We can counteract this pollution and pain by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. An example may be given of a big pond. If you take a stone and throw it into a pond, the waves that are created will touch all edges of the pond. This universe is like that pond. Chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, creates many waves of spiritual vibration. Those waves touch everything, up to the ends of the world, moving here and there and purifying the entire universe from all pollution. Lord Krishna is inconceivably powerful. He can create the entire universe in a second and then destroy it, and again he can create many worlds. He has invested all his mercy, power, and opulence in his names, and thus they are also unlimitedly powerful. They very quickly travel through the universe as spiritual sound vibrations, and the pollution gradually disappears. Trees, creepers, animals, and insects cannot speak. They cannot understand our language. Still, everyone, not only humans, but all creatures throughout this universe, will be touched by the powerful holy name, whether they are aware of it or not. If one touches fire, knowingly or unknowingly, he will feel its effects. Similarly, these holy names will inspire and purify all living beings, whether they are aware or not. Trees, grass, and humans all become fortunate when they hear about Krishna, and even the creatures in the jungles are gradually liberated from suffering. If we chant loudly, all of our senses will be purified, and there will be nothing to criticize and no unhappy memories. By material endeavors, we cannot control the unhappy and unbeneficial thoughts that enter our minds, but they are conquered very easily by chanting. Gradually, our hearts will be cleansed by such chanting, and then we will realize that our real self-interest, the soul of our souls, is Lord Krishna. Therefore, if we serve him, we and the entire world are benefited. God is love, and love is God. Chant the Hare Krishna mantra and be happy. Thus ends the narration of The Way of Love, a booklet on the real meaning of love, the essence of true spirituality, by His Divine Grace, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj.